Well, howdy friends. I'm Kelly Galloup, and I'm the new host of Mad River Outfitters. And we're switching to margarine.
Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters and the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and look who it is.
Hi, I'm not Brian Flechsig, I'm Kelly Galloup.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Howdy friends.
No, you're supposed to say welcome back.
That's why I said howdy friends.
You know what? I thought one of the most creative things I've ever seen, or at least in the top 400. Johnny took a picture of you and I sitting on the front porch, and then he posted it of the slide in, and he posted it on your social media. He says, "Howdy, friends, welcome back." It was in the top 500 creative things I've ever seen.
Yes.
Anyhow, Kelly,
Yep.
one of our top-selling fly lines here in the shop, and I know one of yours, by a long shot, is your original. Whoa, what was that?
Look at that.
Did you hear that?
Click.
Anyway, it was the Streamer Max line, which is kind of the original line that you designed for Airflo. And then along comes this line, which confused a lot of folks, myself included, until I started fishing it, was the Shovelhead. And lo and behold, for the first couple of years, well, until I asked you, I thought it was for catfishing.
Well, you know, Steve,
Tim
Ray Jeff, probably Steve had the same idea, but when I submitted it, he said, when I showed him, I drew the schematic, and he said, you mean the other way around. And I said,
you got it backwards.
No, I said, I can actually draw a schematic. I said, no, if I meant it that way, it'd be that way. He goes, that's gonna cast like shit. And I said, well, don't you think, you know, I've used it. And it was funny because when he sent off the same drawing to Airflo to Europe, in bright red letters, he wrote the same thing. It's probably gonna cast like shit. And this line, I assume you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
This line it's reverse engineered, if you will. I was fishing on the White, and it was a huge water year. I mean, like, we had like 17-foot rise, and it was particularly, but the fish were still, you know, relatively, they're off on the shores there, it was a really sunny day, and it was kind of middle of the day, and I was happened to just be doing hero cast by myself, and I was watching how long it took to get my fly down, to chase the other line, right? Even though this line is very radically short on the tip, I was watching this. It was kind of a long drop. And so I always carry a bunch of lines, and you know, I weld them together, and I went back and I welded up some lines, and I took some pretty radical, I think it was T14, and I cut the thing up because what I wanted to happen is I wanted the line to sink like this instead of like this. I wanted it to drop, and none of them do this, right? They still got to do that, right? But I wanted it, instead of doing this, I wanted it to kind of do that. And that would just, because I believe that in the first second and a half, 2 seconds of your retrieve, it's the most critical part of the entire retrieve. Because I think the fly hits, and the fish is already there. If it's 15 feet around, it'll be on your fly before you can even see it. And I didn't want it to take a while to sit the flies up here. I wanted the flies to get in the zone quicker. I actually thought it was going to be kind of, I thought it was going to be clunky. You know, I thought it was going to be a hard line to cast. And to my amazement, it is easier to cast. And it rolls quicker, it picks up, it loads faster, and it shoots very quick. But it does do what I wanted it to, is to drop the front end of the head before the body of the head, so it didn't chase and do, essentially, you know, we don't retrieve, you know, a big retrieve might be 25 feet, because you're generally hunting something. You're looking for where you think the fish are. And so I put all the weight forward, and the difference are, there's a 330 in this one. It's just the distance of the amount of that heavy duty front line. And so one I think is 7 and one's 9 or something like that. And so, but the thing that really amazed me on this line was when Johnny's wife, Rosie, who's the only good part about Johnny, and she broke a line, and she ran a 200 on her 6, and they only had a 280. And it was what Johnny, he said he rigged it up, and he was a little worried too. And he said he thought it made Rosie look like she just had jumped at another level, because, and all it is that they feel it behind them. It loads so easy behind, and he says her accuracy doubled. Here's a girl with a 6 weight, which at 280 is pushing a 6 around.
Yeah.
And it's better accuracy, faster descent, easier to roll pickup, and so it got everything. But I don't like to run a 280 on a 6, but I do run it exclusively on my 7. I never take it off. And so the difference is just the shape of the front. And so the shovel, it goes 200, 250, and then it goes to, the reverse tapered. Then it's got the T12 or 14, I remember what's on it. And then it's just a short chunk of that, right? And so very quick to its zone, still not gonna, and people get afraid like these things are gonna just drop off. You start retrieving those lines, they hover basically where you start, And so you can fish a 280 just as easy in shallow water as you can a 250 or a 200. It just sounds a lot bigger. And that part's what scares everybody. You start talking 280s from 10, 15 years ago, that's a pretty big line.
Yeah.
But it's such a short section. And somebody, probably some steelheader guy kind of got mad because I said it's the whole line. And one thing else is the weight, right? It isn't, the whole line, it's more than 280 if you take the whole line, but essentially it's most of the line weight is in the front 30. And then it goes to intermediate line. It doesn't go, these aren't floating lines behind it. So essentially on these lines, you're weighting the front half of it is what you're calling a 280.
The way I like to describe it is, especially if you're fishing a weighted fly, and this allows the tip of the line to keep up with your weighted fly.
Yeah. That's the whole point. Getting them down to the...
And then that way, right when you start to retrieve, we're right here, and you don't have this this
tip
belly.
line.
And especially when I come out to visit you every summer, and fishing with Johnny, who I like Johnny.
Well, he's going to catch a fish sooner or later.
No, I like
He's
Johnny.
going to get one.
He's a pretty good guy. He can recite virtually every word that Bill Murray has ever said in his life.
Yes.
But I'm fishing with Johnny, and I've learned so much about streamer fishing the Madison. And this will be our 21st year of coming out there, which is hard to believe. But bang, and you got to be, just
on the Madison, now. You got 10 foot of retrieve. We're fishing such short pockets, and that's where Johnny, and the only reason he's better at it than me is because he's taller. But no, that's not true. He's probably better at all of it. But he is so he's so laser focused, as you know, and when he says he wants 3 foot of a run.
Yeah.
And you can't have your fly up here or down. It needs to be in the zone. And especially in that faster, shorter, and water where you're not really sweeping water. You're pinpointing a spot and you're shooting for it, and you got 5 to 10 foot of retrieve. Everything has to happen at once, right? And you can't miss, you can't not be there. It's like you got to go right now, and you're going to do that over and over and over. And the line really. And a lot of people think you're going to fish a floating line, it's going to work better. It is absolutely wrong. I don't care who says it. It's such a crock of crap. A floating line is not as good in fast, repetitive casts like that, and for accuracy, and everybody's more accurate with a weighted line. They feel it, they go, and it's in, right? And that shovel, I think Johnny pretty much runs shovels exclusively.
I think so. Yeah.
And so... It's just, and again, it's especially when you have when you're running and gunning, bang, 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 bang. It's so much easier, and your fly's in the right depth. And as you know, I don't believe fish run deep anyway, and so I don't, because people are always saying, I want to get a line that goes really deep and fast. That's what I want. I want to sink way down there. It will, but I don't fish that way, and I don't think fish live real deep. So
or they don't feed that deep.
Yeah, they're not feed. If they're there, they're there for a different reason. But that's the whole difference. Just
cool. Well, I still have a feeling that the Streamer Max Long will remain one of our best-selling lines.
It's always the best selling.
Probably yours, and it's surely a safe bet. But the Shovelhead is worth a try, and for those that have been scared off by the name, it's not for catfishing. It could be.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? And it's actually easier to cast, easier to control. A lot of people think they're going to get worn out over the course of the day, and it's the exact opposite. There's so many people. You and I did a video 3 or 4 years ago up on Hebgen Lake talking about casting sinking lines, and we made the comment the casting sinking lines is so much easier than casting floating lines in most situations. And Blaine Chocolate has said the same thing repeatedly on camera. We still have competitors out there that are making videos that are saying that sinking lines are hard to cast.
They haven't, you know, it's just like everything else. It's just, have you ever actually done it?
Yeah,
That's what I wonder a lot of times people say that, because the weight, you know, the biggest problem in fly casting for everyone in the world is not loading the rod behind them. You know, you can drop your hand and cast it forward, and it's usually that they don't feel it. Whenever we're teaching, we're telling, you know, you used to have people look, I hate when they look behind them, but feel it and go, right? You feel that every time.
Yeah.
You know, it is so easy to cast. Like I said, with Rosie, and she's a pretty good caster. I'm not saying that she wasn't, but it was like a different person, you know, because she could feel it, and her accuracy was like, wow. Yeah. You know? So.
Well, it's a fun line to fish. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be afraid of the boogie.
No. In fact, I would want to have both of those lines, to be honest with you. Somebody asked me recently, they said, talking about our peacock bass trips, and they said, well, if you were to have 2 sinking lines to take to the Amazon, which ones would you take? And I said, well, if I only could have 2 sinking lines to take, I wouldn't go to the Amazon.
A short trip.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be able to adjust. And that's the thing with sinking lines, and I get that question every day. What's the best sinking line for my 6-weight? I have no idea. You got to give me tons more information, and then you really should have 3 or 4 lines with you on the boat in any given situation. But well, there you have it, friends. Kelly Galloup Streamer Max Long, and then the Shovelhead, not for catfish, fly line, also from Airflo, of course available at madriveroutfitters.com or slidein.com. We've got the new shop up in Ennis now. Right there, I dug the.
Oh wait, you got the hat.
I dug the hat out from 25 years ago, whatever it was, 20 years ago. So anyhow, friends, there you have it. If you ever have any questions about these Airflo Streamer Max lines, you can pick up the phone and give us a call, shoot us an email, heck, send smoke signals. We might respond. So anyhow, thanks for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You never know when Kelly might show up. And thanks for hit that like button. That makes us feel good, and we both need
likes.
Yeah,
the world needs more likes.
Yeah. So, and oh yeah, be sure to watch this video right here, and then watch that one. And stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming at you.